Welcome back to Full Count, ladies and gentlemen. This is our clubhouse chat. Keith Gibson, Kyle Drone sitting down with Major League Baseball players and managers to get their take on what's going on in the baseball world. This week, we are privileged to welcome in Pittsburgh Pirates manager and SIU alum, Derek Shelton. Derek, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Good to talk to you.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Shelty. Great to have you on this morning. We've been friends for a long time now. And one of the things I've always admired, or two of the things actually, are, your positive attitude and your winning mentality. Can you tell us a little bit about the influences over the years that have helped you kind of shape that in your managerial career?
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost, the biggest influence has been my father. He was a high school baseball coach in Illinois, in Northern Illinois, for 30 plus years. I know you guys are in Southern Illinois. He's a Johnson City person and went to Carbondale also. But he's probably the biggest influence just because I grew up going to the ballpark with him every day, or, he was a teacher and a coach. We were in the gym or at the field. And then as I move forward, the couple other people, and actually that they have Southern Illinois roots, Itchy Jones was a big one for me, just in his attention to detail and how he did things and how he ran practices and his thirst for knowledge. This is a guy that's 80 plus years old and still learning. And then Mark Newman, who gave me my first job with the Yankees. He's also a Saluki. He just passed recently. Besides my dad, he was probably the closest, mentor towards me and challenged me in terms of how I was going to get better every day. So really big three influences there.
Skip, you've had a great career so far. Now you're with the Bucks, leading them, but you had a big turnover in your roster, losing guys like Joe Musgrove, Jamison Taillon, Josh Bell. How do you replace that production both on the mound and in the field? And are you and Ben Sherrington working towards getting younger where maybe you don't compete exactly this year, but maybe 2-3 years from now you're a playoff contender?
Yeah, I think, when we came in, we identified that we need to get as many good players as possible. And when you have, good players to trade, which we traded, the three guys you mentioned are good players, good major league players, and were a big part of our clubhouse and a big part of what we were doing. But we realized we needed to supplement it with more talent. And we were very fortunate in the trades we made to be able to acquire a bunch of young talent back. Some of them we've seen in spring training, and have done a really nice job. But, a goal of any organization, especially an organization like the Pirates that has to develop, is we have to have young players that continue to flow into the big leagues. And that's what we did in these trades.
So, Shelty, you just broke spring training, which this kind of overlaps a little bit, which, you have a lot of new faces, young talent. Was the main focus more of, as a staff, player development, or were you more focused on winning, or you try to combine the two?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. In spring training, sometimes you win games at the back half of games or lose games at the back half of games with players that aren't going to be on your opening day roster. And those are good things. We won a game earlier in the spring with Nick Gonzalez, who was our first round pick last year, who's never played in a professional game, helped us win a game in spring training, which is really cool. Right. We haven't seen this guy play yet at any level, and he's helping us win spring training games. But development is extremely important also because of the fact we're at 75. We have a lot of young kids in camp, and our major league players, we have to continue to develop at the major league level. So we have been working on things, and spring training went really well in that regard in terms of getting better and doing things. So it's a combination of both. It's nice to win games, but sometimes, games can be won or lost at the end because of other factors.
Skip, adding a guy like Trevor Cahill to your ball club, a guy who's got major league experience, both starting and coming out of the bullpen, what's it mean to you as a manager, as a guy you can count on, and it can also lead a young rotation and kind of mentor them throughout the season?
Yeah, I think you bring up a really good point there. This guy's pitched in dual roles. He has started and he's pitched out of the bullpen, and I think that's really important for a young club. We are prepared him to be a starter this year, just for the number of innings. But really fortunate anytime we can bring guys in that have extensive major league experience to a young club, because they provide stability. And we were happy that we were able to add Trevor into our group.
Shelty, it's Kyle again. Finally, your previous interviews and this one right here, man, I can really I can feel the excitement about what you're doing. And I'm just really curious on what are the things you most look forward to kicking off the season?
I look forward to starting. I mean, it's been a long road, to get here. So I think that's the thing that's first and foremost is being in Chicago, the season starting, a new group playing 162 games. I mean, obviously we're still under fairly strict protocols, which causes some challenges, not only at the field, but off the field, but just really looking forward to a full season of baseball. And then the second thing is I'm looking forward to fans in PNC. I mean, when I got the job, a year and a half ago, that was something that really stood out to me. And the fact that we're in the National League Central. I mean, I grew up in the Chicagoland area. I went to school in Carbondale. I have a bunch of family that used to be Cardinal fans that, now support the black and gold that transitioned over. But I think that's, something that stands out to me. I mean, to be able to be in ballparks that I was in growing up, now with fans in them, I think is going to be really cool.
Skip, you've got a right fielder in Gregory Polanco who struggled a little bit in 2020. But is it important for you and for the ball club for him to kind of have a bounce back year and be able to help guys like Moran and Frazier? Now, I know he's a new dad as well, so that's always exciting. But have you kind of seen a little more pep in his step this spring and as he gets prepared for 2021?
Yeah, well, I think like you pointed out, he's got dad strength now. Anytime you have your first child, you get dad strength.
Oh, yeah.
But Greg's in a good spot. He came in last year to spring training and was in a really good spot. Unfortunately, as we went into spring training 2.0, he contracted the virus and had COVID, and it pushed him back a little bit. I think the one thing that stood out to Greg's year last year is when he hit the ball hard. And the one thing we have encouraged is just more contact. So far this spring, he's doing a much better job of that. He's moving around. He's moving around fine. He's healthy, and looking forward to big things out of him this year.
And finally, Shelton, you've got a third baseman in Key Brian Hayes, a perennial all-star and cornerstone of the Pirates franchise. What kind of things are you expecting out of him? Because I'm sure you're expecting big things out of the young third baseman.
Yeah, he's a talented kid. I mean, he came to the big leagues last year and played 24 games and was really good. I think this thing that stands out is this kid's got a really slow heartbeat. I mean, obviously grew up in a baseball family. His dad caught the last out of the 96 World Series, which is, really cool. But the fact that he never gets too high, never gets too low, does the same thing. And, I know there's a lot of expectations on Key. All we're looking for out of him is to go out and catch the ball every day, have consistent at-bats. We realize there's going to be ups and downs, but I think people are going to be excited to watch this kid play because he does some really special things on the field.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Pittsburgh Pirates manager Derek Shelton in our clubhouse chat right here on Full Count. Thank you, Skip, for joining us here on our show. We wish you nothing but the best in 2021, you and the Pirates, and I hope everybody stays healthy as you start the season this weekend in Windy City, the big city of Chicago, against the Cubs. We'll take a quick break and come right back here with our On This Date in Baseball History and our Triple Play Trivia. You're listening to Full Count.